This is 100 Founders, and I'm Dave Rubenstein. Join me as we guide founders through the messiness of founder-led sales on their path to building a scalable go-to-market machine. Let's dive in. All right, and we are here with Noah Jacobs from BirdDog. Hey, Noah, tell us a little bit about yourself and the business.
Hey, David, thanks a ton for having me. I'm one of the co-founders here at BirdDog. I live over in Cambridge, Massachusetts in a hacker house. A lot of fun. We started BirdDog maybe a year and a half ago now, almost, my co-founder and I. We've been bootstrapping it. We're really automating a research process that we learned by doing it manually. We were doing a ton of consultative understanding and research for sales teams, finding them data points, and we turned BirdDog into a way to really codify the customer's ICP and do a bunch of super powerful research on it.
Awesome. So tell me, you said a lot there, but I think for folks listening, what's
Yeah,
the problem that you solve? And tell me why that problem is getting worse every day.
totally. Yeah, I mean, so the problem that we solve quite simply is you don't know what account to sell to. You have a bunch of companies in the world. If you're a business-to-business salesperson, you can sell to any company in the world. And sure, you can descope it. You can get down to maybe 500 accounts. But even then, in that best case scenario, you still don't know what account to sell to now. If you're selling, as an example, let's say you're renting out graphics card centers, GPU centers, you could sell this to any company in the world, but really you want to be selling it to the ones that are training foundation models, which require more GPUs. You want to be selling it to the ones that are hiring AI or ML engineers because, they're the ones who are going to be using those GPUs. So every sales team has some sort of pain point that they solve. And the goal of BirdDog is really to identify which companies have that pain point and tell you why with real world information. So you can go in and immediately connect your value prop to what's actually going on at the company. And this is getting way worse right now, David. It's more important than ever because there's so much noise with all these automated sequences and email outbound. Everybody's just vying for attention and they're sending these very, very not at all thoughtful messages. It's just spam your TAM is what a lot of people are saying, which just means blast emails to everybody in the world. And, while that's possibly a valid strategy in some very unique cases for complex sales, you don't have a big enough market to do that to, and it's just going to get noisy and buried in the noise. You want to stand out and actually show them that you know them, show me you know me, and be relevant based on what's actually going on at their business, because that's not just the thing that's going to book a meeting, David. That's the thing that's going to close the deal too. It's the kind of stuff that's actually related to why they would buy, not just why they would take a meeting with you.
Okay, I got it. So you're
Yeah.
you're going to help someone identify the right accounts at the right time.
Yes.
With all the noise out there, focus is more important than ever. So
Certainly. Yeah.
I know people would love to hear us talk on, but they
Yeah.
don't want to actually see it. So can you actually pull up BirdDog? Let's get it. Maybe walk us through a day in the life of a BirdDog user.
100%. And actually, I'm not even going to start in BirdDog. I'm going to start in Slack. Every day for the accounts our customers are monitoring, we're going through and looking for triggers that the sellers can action. So the three things we're going to look at today are first this, the real-time alerts. You'll get this in email. You'll get this in Slack. You'll get this in Teams as well if you use Teams. Then the next thing we're going to look at is actually actioning the data in the platform. And the third thing we're going to look at is actually figuring out what data you should action, meaning what data is actually related to the deals you close, what signals actually are related to the revenue you're booking. So we're going to do all three of those things, but we're starting in Slack. And typically what we see here, David, is we'll have a bunch of people from the sales team in this channel, including leadership. And we'll have signals like this come out where maybe there's a product launch that they're announcing here. Sentinel's talking about one November 6th. So this is an upcoming event that we're finding, rechecking every night for this, so the sales team gets to see this real time as it comes out, which is super powerful because they can be the first to act on this information. The latency is usually less than 2 days as to when an event happens. These alerts can be about literally whatever you want, maybe opening a new facility, hiring a new VP of something, getting a new C-level person, new product launch, figuring out if they actually do prospecting or have a certain role like full cycle account executives. So you can have these alerts feed right into the channel. And what we see here is we see leaders say, hey, AE so-and-so, go attack this. This is super relevant information. So this is kind of the staging ground where the information flows in.
Does this typically go to the VP and they distribute it, or does this go to individual account executives?
Typically, David, so you're going to have the individual account executive assigned to the account, but we're going to have one channel where everybody can see it. So we'll see like the VP or even the chief sales officer sometimes tag one of the AEs and say, you got to action this. Or, by the way, I know so-and-so at this company, I'm going to make an intro. So it really creates a transparent sales channel. And we call it like a signal floor.
Makes a ton of sense.
Cool. So I'm going to swap over my screen to BirdDog now. Here we go. So in the platform, you'll be getting those same alerts, and each AE will have their own login. They'll be able to see this data. They'll be getting these alerts in this feed right here. So those alerts we just saw in Slack that would also be in Teams and email, also right here. And the accounts are over here, stack ranked. So to actually action the data, an AE will open the platform, or an SDR will open the platform. They'll either go over to new signals and pick out one of the more recent signals, or they'll go here and select one of the higher ranking accounts. So with Genesis Technologies, they'll get all of this information right here, basic background stuff. And this is where it gets really cool. This why now, why reach out is customized based off the signals that are relevant to your business model. Going back to the GPU example, we might be seeing Genesis training foundation models, opening a new facility with graphics cards in it, or hiring AI ML engineers. The rep can then go through and examine any piece of information here. So they can click on full cycle. Maybe here you're looking to see if they're a full cycle account executive or whatever piece of data you want. They'll see this context, and they can actually go look at a job posting or wherever that data is coming from. We're pulling from SEC filings, job postings, LinkedIn posts, company websites. They can then action this data by either going to the source, looking for maybe a contact, or scrolling down here. Can take them right over to LinkedIn, right over to their HubSpot, can generate messages in platform, take them to ChatGPT with the data, send this report to somebody else on the team. Maybe they send it to an SDR and say, hey, go do this, and can also export the data. And while we're here, the data is also available in HubSpot. We can put it in those fields right there. So the data can be actioned out of HubSpot as well, and Salesforce too. And these are just going to be fields on account or company objects. So that's the second thing. You have all this data in a bunch of different ways to action it. The actual flow of the actioning is going to depend based on the team. We typically tell them, do what you're already doing, but do it better, because now you're focusing on the accounts that have relevant information.
So we got first we get the alert, then it takes you a place where we get all the information and makes it really easy to action on the data.
Yep. And then finally, signals are great, but what's really, really important is making sure that these signals that we're getting are actually related to revenue. So the third thing we can do, and we can do a lot of things, but this is the third one that we're going to talk about, the third and final one, is we can take the signals that we come up with you, and we can test them against the deals you've already won, as well as the deals you've already lost. And by doing this, we can tell you what signals are more common among deals that turned into revenue than the deals that did not. So for BirdDog, we found that our signal, does account mention that their salespeople have to prospect, is 2 times more common in the deals we won than among our entire account list. This is super valuable information, because now this signal doesn't just make it a little bit easier to book a meeting, but it's showing us what accounts are more likely to actually convert to revenue, which as a sales org, I'm going to guess that's what you probably care. But,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we got alerts, we got actionable data, and then we got the analysis that says, what, based on past wins, what are signals that kind of we should really be leaning in on, because these are
Totally
right for us. Okay, makes a ton of sense. And I would imagine if I, as a sales leader, I look at this data and I can have some really direct conversations with my sellers about how good the accounts really are, right? Everyone's like, oh, this wasn't a good account, or this wasn't, but this is like, the data is telling you, this looks a lot like other accounts that we've won.
Yeah, certainly. And that's a huge thing, is we see a lot of the times we'll get a big list and half the accounts will be junk. And, it's really hard to take a big list and have it be right the first time. But we really do help take an account list that's not so good and focus in on the good ones, and even find other accounts off that list that would be good as well.
Awesome. And so for the folks that are listening, who are the people that should be reaching out to you that would be the ideal customers for BirdDog?
Yeah, typically we like to work with sales teams where the AEs have to do some prospecting. We also do work with SDRs and BDRs. It's nice if the AEs also have to do some prospecting. The contract value has to be above $30,000 usually. And typically it's going to be mid 5 figures or even 6 figures, occasionally 7 figures. And the sales cycle, obviously, with that is going to be more than 3 months. So these complex sales, we work in a lot of different industries. It doesn't just have to be software. We work with construction companies, some storage companies in a lot of different spaces. But the biggest things are you're doing a complex sales cycle and, have higher contract values there.
Great. And I guess the last question, if you want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to find you?
Yeah, shoot me an email at noah@getbirddog.ai or follow myself or my co-founder on LinkedIn, Noah Jacobs and Jack Porter.
Great. Well, thank you so much for making the time. We'll look forward to following BirdDog going forward.
Thanks so much, David.
Thank you for joining. For the latest research and other demos, visit us at 100founders.ai. Founder-led sales is messy because many founders have never sold before. That's what I solve. Visit 100founders.ai and hit schedule to find time to talk. We'll see y'all next time.